Chuckles the Chicken lives in fluffy gardens. Chuckles lives here, at 1 Doodle-Doo Lane to be precise. Like most chickens, Chuckles likes to go for walks. And like most chickens, Chuckles likes to get up really early and announce to all the world that it is time to get up. And like most chickens, Chuckles loves jokes. You did know that chickens love jokes, didn't you? Oh yes, chickens love to make people laugh. But even though Chuckles loves jokes, anytime there are other people around, Chuckles finds he can't say a word, and he certainly couldn't tell a joke. He gets so painfully shy. Our story begins one early morning. Chuckles found a place all by himself and shouted to the world that it was time to get up. Cock-a-doodle-doo! Now, Lenny the octopus didn't like getting up early. He didn't like it at all. Lenny shuffled to his window and shouted at Chuckles. "Why do you have to wake me up so early?" But Chuckles was gone. Nowhere to be found. He was hiding behind the little bush. Chuckles popped out from behind the bush to make sure that Lenny was gone. "Oh dear," he said to himself. "That was close. I almost had to talk to Lenny. That would have been terrible. I would most likely have said something very silly." You see, Chuckles gets so painfully shy. After making sure that nobody was about, Chuckles ran to his house for breakfast. But Chuckles was still so nervous from Lenny shouting at him that he dropped the milk all over the floor. This was terrible. It meant that he would have to go to the shop to get more milk, which meant that he would have to talk to the shopkeeper. It was that or eat dry cereal. Not many people like dry cereal. So Chuckles walked to the shops. As he arrived, Fudge and Lily the kittens were inside buying some butter. To use for a naughty trick, perhaps? But probably just to spread on their toast. "Oh, hello, Chuckles," said Fudge and Lily as they opened the shop door. But Chuckles was gone. Nowhere to be found. He was hiding behind the post box. "Oh dear," he said to himself. "That was close." After having a quick look to make sure that nobody else was in the shop, Chuckles dashed inside. He took some milk out of the fridge and quickly brought it to the counter. "Good morning," beamed the penguin shopkeeper. But Chuckles was gone. Nowhere to be found. Actually, he was just behind the counter, hiding as usual. And that's when Wee Reg the puppy walked in, and Rex the pig, and Lola the mosquito. They all saw Chuckles hiding behind the counter. Wee Reg was curious. "What are you doing hiding behind the counter?" he asked. Rex the pig, who loved to laugh, prodded Chuckles and asked him to tell a funny joke. Lola the mosquito, who is awfully silly, just smiled at Chuckles and said, "Good night, Mavis." Poor Chuckles became so dreadfully shy that he just whimpered quietly as his little beak quivered. He was thinking to himself, "I can't talk to Wee Reg, or Rex, or Lola because I'll most likely say something very silly." Lola the mosquito asked the shopkeeper for 2 pieces of bread, 3 tennis balls, and a pair of shoes. For a sandwich. Everyone laughed at the idea of such a silly sandwich. Seeing that, Chuckles suddenly thought that maybe it doesn't matter if he says something silly. After all, Lola is very silly and she has lots of fun. She's not shy at all. So Chuckles plucked up his courage and made a sound. Just a little noise at first. "What was that?" asked Wee Reg. "I said," answered Chuckles, and then said something very quiet. So quiet that nobody could hear. I think he's trying to tell a joke, said Rex the pig. I said, said Chuckles nervously. What do chickens do on sunny days? Then there was silence. I don't know, said Rex. What do chickens do on sunny days? Chuckles tried to stop his little beak from quivering and answered quietly. They go on picnics. Picnics, repeated Rex. Well, that's just the funniest thing I've ever heard. And he laughed so hard that he rolled around the floor. Wee-wretched Lola the mosquito laughed too. Even the little penguin shopkeeper laughed. Chuckles had told his first joke. He wasn't so shy after all. Soon everyone was coming to Chuckles for jokes. Chuckles tells the best jokes. He really is a very funny chicken. These days, when Chuckles announces that it is time to get up, lazy Lenny still shuffles to his window and shouts at Chuckles. Why'd you have to wake me up so early? But Chuckles doesn't hide. He shouts back, because I'm an alarm clock.